Hello all of you. Now let's see a very small chapter, goods in transit or transshipment. It's a very simple chapter and you have to just remember a few important points. Transit means when a vehicle or a vessel brings goods to India, it means the vehicle comes into India or the ship or the aircraft comes into India and it is carrying some goods which are not meant to be unloaded at this place, which are not meant to be unloaded, but are to be carried to some other place in India or maybe outside India. So these goods are called as transit goods. Okay, these are called as transit goods. And transshipment means if the ship is coming from Dubai to Bombay, it will unload the goods on the Mumbai port because that ship is not going to Chennai or Singapore. So that ship will go back to Dubai. But these goods are not meant for clearance from Mumbai. They are to be cleared either from Chennai or to be taken to Singapore. So then the person will hire another ship, the person who owns the goods or who is transporting them will hire another ship, put these goods onto that ship at Mumbai port and take it to Chennai, from where the clearance procedure will be done later on, or take it to Singapore. These are called as transshipment goods. Transshipped goods, the process is called as transshipment. Okay, so transshipment can be to a place in India or to a place outside India. Transit can also be to a place in India or to a place outside India. So this is transit and transshipment. So what this chapter basically deals with is the controlling procedure. There is no duty to be imposed because the goods are not meant for this port. So at least at Mumbai port there will be no duty. But if they are transited to Chennai or transshipped to Chennai, then duty will be imposed at Chennai port. The port of importation will be called as Chennai port and not the Mumbai port. And if they are to be taken to Singapore, then there is no question of duty in India, right? So let's see the procedure which is involved, what are the documentation to be done, and the control of the department over these goods, because they have to ensure that there is no smuggling in the goods. You may say that you are taking to Singapore, but you may later on enter the goods to other place in India. So that should not happen. So what is the control with the customs department? Let's see. So firstly, that theoretical point is given that the essential difference between transit and transshipment lies in the continuity of records and documentation. In the case of transit, by the same conveyance, transit is in the same conveyance, the record already made in the ship or aircraft's manifest will continue. The goods would have to be shown in the manifest as same bottom cargo. Same bottom cargo means the goods will be, this is when you file the import manifest at the first port of call, that is Mumbai. You will mention the goods as a same bottom cargo, means these goods are not to be unloaded. The destination of the cargo consignment wise has to be shown in the same bottom cargo manifest. And these entries have necessarily to figure in the export manifest also. So your import manifest will mention these goods as same bottom cargo, and your export manifest that you will file at the Bombay port at the time of leaving should also mention the same goods. So they should tally. Thereafter, when the conveyance calls at the next Indian customs port or the airport, the goods have to figure in the import general manifest filed there as landing cargo or as same bottom cargo again. If it is to be landed there, then it will be called as landing cargo. Otherwise, it will again be mentioned as same bottom cargo. Thus, there is continuity in the record and there is no chance of control over such transit goods being lost. So there is no loss of control. And the position of transshipment is entirely different, because transshipment requires change of conveyance. Okay, so there at the time of the first ship coming into Mumbai port, the goods will be unloaded, and then another ship will carry these goods to some other place. So when we want to load the goods onto the next ship, you have to file a bill of transshipment. So second documentation will begin. First documentation comes to an end and altogether new process will begin. So it says, in the first instance, such transshipment goods are landed in a particular Indian custom station. So they will be landed. Thereafter they have to be shipped by a conveyance, means another conveyance, to the destination, okay, to be transshipped. These are the following stages where care and caution have to be exercised to ensure that the goods are not illicitly landed and smuggled into India. During the period when the transshipment goods lie in the Indian customs station, so when they are there in the Indian customs station, there are certain documents. Then when the goods are transshipped by another conveyance to their final destination, so here you will file the bill of transshipment. And where the transshipped goods are destined to another Indian customs station, care has to be taken at that station for actual landing and proper clearance. So all these necessary steps will have to be taken to ensure that there is no smuggling of goods. So let's see now the actual sections. So first is 53, transit. Where the goods imported in a conveyance and mentioned in the import manifest or import report as for transit in the same conveyance, that is same bottom cargo, to any other any place outside India like Singapore, or to any customs station in India like Chennai. The proper officer may allow the goods and the conveyance to transit without payment of duty, okay, without payment of duty, subject to conditions as may be prescribed. So then there are rules for this. We don't have to see the rules, but there are defined rules. And such goods should not be prohibited goods, important point. They should not be prohibited goods under section 11. And the conveyance may be a vehicle, ship or aircraft. It can be anything. The next is transshipment. Transshipment means transfer from one conveyance to another. Goods imported in a customs station can be transshipped without payment of duty. So when you are transshipping it from Mumbai, at Mumbai port you don't have to pay any duty. The conveyance can be a vehicle, ship or aircraft. It can be any one of them. Such transshipment may be to any major port or airport in India. The goods can be transshipped to any other customs station in India if the customs officer is satisfied that the goods are bona fide intended for transshipment to the other customs station. So if it is to a major port, airport, then they will be allowed. If it is to other customs stations which are not major ones, so there is a concept of major customs port, and then there are other customs ports. Then the officer has to be satisfied about the bona fide intent. If he is satisfied, then he will allow, otherwise he may not allow. Then facilities available at all customs port and also at inland container depots. Goods to be transshipped must be specified in the import manifest. And then the important point, the bill of transshipment should be submitted to customs officer. So when you want to take out the goods from the first port or the airport or the land customs station or the ICD, you have to file a bill of transshipment. Such goods should not be prohibited goods under section 11, because if they are prohibited, then of course they will be forfeited by the government. And if so, the customs officer should seal the goods during transshipment. This is to a place outside India. Suppose they are not meant for India, like arms and ammunition consignment has come, but that is going to Singapore. It is not meant for India. So these goods may be prohibited for import in India, but we are not importing it into India, na? They are just coming in from Dubai and going to Singapore. So in that case, the customs department will put their seal to check that they are not illicitly brought back into India. Then a bond has to be executed for the purpose. You have to execute a bond giving an undertaking that these goods are meant for transshipment, and if they are not transshipped, then I will pay the duty. So you have to file a bond. After execution of bond, a certificate from customs officer has to be submitted within 1 month that goods have been properly transferred. So certificate from customs officer, which customs officer? Of the other port. Like you were telling in Bombay that you are taking the goods to Chennai. So when the goods are imported in Chennai and all the formalities are completed, you have to obtain a certificate from that customs officer of Chennai and submit it at Bombay port. Then your bond which you had filed at the Bombay port will get cancelled, because now it is proved that the goods have been properly imported from the other port. And liability of duty on transit and transshipped goods. Where the goods are allowed to be transited or transshipped to any customs station, then on their arrival at such station, good shall be liable to duty as if it is first imported at that place. So when the goods will come in Chennai, it will be deemed that they are coming in for the first time in India. So like we see section 15, rate of duty. So rate of duty will be the entry in words at Chennai port or the bill of entry filed, whichever is later. Then transport to certain classes of goods subject to prescribed conditions. Now this is again very important point, interesting point, not important but interesting. Imported goods may be transported, this is through land, transported without payment of duty from one land customs station to another, and one part of India to another part of India through any foreign territory also, subject to such conditions as may be prescribed. So this is about land borders. So this is the northern part of India. This doesn't match any maps, okay. So here is our Kashmir and Punjab and Haryana, and this is the Nepal and all, and here is our northeastern states, and in between is Bangladesh, foreign territory, okay. So when the goods come here, okay, I think I need to redraw the map to make it a little bit more practical. So let's talk about, this is the Kashmir, and then this is Nepal, and then okay, now this looks something like India, okay, though my drawing is not good. So here are the northeastern states, and this is the India, this is Nepal, here is Bhutan, the northeastern states, here is Sikkim. Sikkim is at the top, okay. Now sometime, and this is Bangladesh now, and this is West Bengal, this is Kolkata. So if you want to take the goods from Kolkata land customs station to somewhere in the northeastern state, then we'll have to take it all through. So there is a long route if you want to take it from India itself. But the easier way would be to take the goods from this land customs station through Bangladesh to the other part, the northeastern states. Okay, so that can also be done, and for that you need to follow the permission of the officer. So with the permission of the officer, you can transfer the goods, transport the goods from one land customs station to another land customs station, even passing through the foreign territory. So this is specifically for Bangladesh, passing through the foreign territory, provided such facilities are available for transport of goods. And then we will pay duty at the other land customs station. So we will clear the goods at this land customs station, which is situated on that side. So it's like that. And as you can see, a few practice questions are given. Normally theory questions will come on this, and one of the major question is the difference between transit and transshipment. So that is also given. Very simple points, just go through it once, right? So I think this is the simplest chapter in the whole customs.